I need to tell someone about what I saw that night. It is still terrifying for me whenever these memories enter my mind. It is, perhaps, the most traumatizing experience in my life, and I still cannot forget this. Back around 2013, before I was going off to college, I was just at home relaxing this night. My family was preparing to go out, but I decided I will not go with them, as I have had a hard week and I need a night to myself to relax. This was a weekend, I guess Saturday night. I was left alone in our house. Our house was in Manila, very spacious. We have a bathroom on the 3rd floor near the stairs and a clear hallway on the 2nd floor with a huge window. I was just relaxing in the living room at this time. Suddenly, I felt the urge to go to the bathroom, so I went to the 3rd floor. It was already dark now. I usually don't open all the lights to save electricity. As I was about to go downstairs, however, I did open the lights, and I was shocked to the view that I had just seen on the hallway. This thing is all white, looking like a spider and a human figure at the same time. Both of its hands and legs were on the floor and crawling backwards very fast. The hair, so long, following this figure dragging along. Its mouth twisted back towards me and hanging open wide. My heart is pumping so fast because it was my first encounter to see something like this. The sight of this otherworldly entity, not just standing or walking, but crawling backwards, contorted and disfigured. I scream at this time, and I run to lock my door. I kept on crying. I opened all the lights, and I messaged all of my friends to calm me down. I'm still so scared, even after this day, because that was not the last time for me to see that awful girl. She haunts my life. It is rare for me to see her, but it comes out of nowhere. That's why it's so scary. I never know what I can expect. The most frightening thing to me, however, is that it's only ever when I open my bedroom door that I see her. And every time I lay eyes on her, she has moved closer to my bedroom. I fear to the bottom of my heart that one day I will wake up to see this thing arched over my bed, its mouth wide open. I would always see ghosts in our house where we used to live. Sometimes they just walk around. Other times they just stand somewhere. I remember I'm always very scared and I can't sleep with the lights out or without someone beside me. I also don't know why I had to see them. I wanted to know, what do they want? Are they lost souls or bad entities that wanted me to be afraid? I'm really curious, what is real? I don't know why, but I have never seen any ghost with a face. Just shadows and silhouettes. Sometimes white, sometimes black. But this particular sighting was unbelievable. I don't know if it is a ghost, but it was definitely not a shadow or any other logical explanation, and I will never forget that day. Me and my older sister, we used to play with our neighbor friends. We play pico, hide and seek, habul habulan, and other games. That day, my sister got mad at me and I got mad at her. I cannot remember the reason. It's not important. So I leave her, and I just stand at the side of the counter at my mother's shop. Staring at the tall grass, I see someone suddenly walk and disappear. It was fast, and I know that it was not human because of the red skin. It walks like a man, and he is wearing a sandal, like, I don't know. It was fast, but his figure is really clear, unlike other shadows. He just disappeared at the grasses. I told it to my sister and my friend, and they got scared, so we decided to just play again. We told it to my mother, and she said it might just be a person, and I told her that it is colored red. She changes after this. Now she is very scared too. She locks our house, and she tells us to go to our rooms and don't come out until we bless this house. Father blesses our house after this, but strange sounds are coming from outside. Skittering noises, like claws, clicking across the bricks outside. I hate it. I push my face to my pillow and I cry and I pray to God for it to stop. It's then I hear my sister scream. I look up to see her, but I don't see only her. I see also a red face staring at me. It is outside, through the cracks in the wood, but the face is sticking out, enough that it is in the room with us. We both scream, and our father runs with the sage, and when he enters our room, the face retreats back out. It is so scary. This day I will never forget. Even I can't believe it was real. I am not colorblind. It is really red, this thing. It is no human. I never saw something like this again, and I don't want to. This happened 1 year ago. Ever since this, I've been struggling to sleep. I felt like it is always watching me and my little sister Mai. Our house was only recently built, and the surroundings were quite uncomfortable. Also very eerie. I shared a room with Mai, but we slept in different beds. It was a double-decker bed near the window. We both decided that I will sleep on the top bunk and she'll take the bottom one. On that night, I was expecting a happy dream, but my expectations shattered ever since I saw her. I was just sleeping when suddenly I woke up for some reason. You know, when you wake up in a panic, or you feel like you are falling and falling until your eyes will open. It was like that. I could see only a silhouette of a figure. At first, I couldn't tell if this is a man or a woman, or maybe just a light from the window. but it comes closer to me. It becomes more visible. It is a bright white. I guess it took me a while to come out of dazed sleep, but I was creeped out when I remembered I am laying on my back, looking up at the ceiling, and that this person, this thing, was looking down, staring at me. Its lips were moving, as if she was mumbling something that I couldn't hear. I tried to avert her gaze, but I couldn't move my eyes, nor my body. I have no choice but to look at that woman. She looks like Mother Mary, and that time I thought it was her. She was standing beside me, and her hands were clasped together, like she was praying. I was supposed to be relieved, but why do I feel so much fear? My panting grew heavier and deeper. My hands were bare cold and sweating. The scary part of that night was when we both stare at each other's eyes, and then her eyes, they becomes red. I don't know what to do, but my eyes begin to tear up. It felt like burning. Call it exaggerating, but that's really what happened. Then, finally, in one blink, the woman disappeared. That was the most grateful blink I've ever taken in my life. I tried to sleep again, but I failed. I could only cry until morning came. Since that night, I made excuses so that I would not have to sleep on my bed, afraid that she would come back. Weeks passed. Mai confessed that she saw the same woman. I didn't utter a word, as I just listened to her story, which was the same as mine. I listened every single detail of the way that she described that woman. It was really the same. I finally asked if she saw her at my bed, and she nodded as she burst into tears. We told our mother our problems. She didn't believe it, but she separated our beds. Time passed, and that woman didn't come back. A month ago, when I was sleeping with my little sister, I suddenly woke up. I wanted to sleep, but I couldn't. Minutes later, Mai also woke up when, coincidentally, we heard a bang at the kitchen and the door swung open. I cried heavily when I see that woman again, with Mai. But this time, she wasn't brightly coloured white. She was pitch dark, shadowy black. We were both panicking as she comes closer to us. She wasn't walking. She was more like floating in the air. Mai held my arms as she shouted and cursed at her. Our grandparents and siblings woke up because of the noise we made. That woman disappeared as soon as the light of the room turned on. We didn't tell what exactly happened, because all we could do was cry again. These days, me and Mai have been dreaming the same thing. Not some happy, nice dream, but a nightmare. In that nightmare, I could see that woman. Or we could see her. Is it coincidence? No way. It can't be. Why would she always appear to us? We do not even know her. But My gut tells me that she wants something from us. And I do not know how long it will be before she comes to take it. This will be my first time to share my experience regarding paranormal encounters. I have lots of stories to share, but this is my first story. This happened in January of 2019. I was riding in the train at that time. There were only 4 or maybe 5 passengers left in the carriage, including me. It was 9:45 in the evening. The train stopped at the next station and the door opened. A girl entered the carriage. She is maybe 10 or 11 years old. From the way she looks, I guess she is maybe European or some kind of Westerner. I glanced over at her. She sits 7 or 8 seats away from me. As the train moves along, I continue staring at her. At first, you wouldn't think anything of her. She is just wearing normal clothing, but her bangs are covering her eyes, and she's alone. My thought is, what on earth is this girl doing on this train so late at night? Where are her parents? Why she's traveling alone without a parent or guardian? From time to time, I glanced at her. She's staring back at me, although I still could not see her eyes. I looked down at my shoes, but when I looked at her again, a dreaded, frightening feeling engulfed me. I finally saw her eyes. They are empty. She's staring back at me with empty, black eyes. At this moment, I'm shaking with fear. I look at the other passengers to see if they saw her eyes too. But all of them were busy at their own business. They didn't even notice she was there. Again, I stare down at my shoes. The train stops now and I hear footsteps. Even I'm not looking, I sense that it was the girl, and she's staring at me. When her presence was gone, more passengers came. I thought I can finally breathe easier. But when I look at the window, I see her in the fields. This time, she's with around 10 more children. They were aged from 6 to maybe mid-teens. The 2 smallest were holding teddy bears. They were all looking right at me with those same black eyes. Even as the train moves, they never break their eye contact with me. At home, I told my older sister of what happened. Of course, she doesn't believe me. Why were they in the field? Just standing, staring. What was her plan on that train, so late at night? This story was way before, during my time in college. Myself and my older sister were renting an apartment near our university, along with 4 or 5 other housemates. My sister, she was already graduated. She was working at a professor in the same university during this time, during my junior year. Okay, back to my experience. One afternoon, at I guess around 4 p.m, one of our housemates was eating her dinner while I was sitting in the middle of the living room facing the mirror, and my sister was in the living room watching TV. So, as the area is an open space and is just divided by some sort of study table or chairs, all three of us are basically within the same room and can clearly see each other. After a while here, I see it. A very tall and dark figure, sort of peeking at us from the kitchen sink area. There is a thick, supporting foundation just before the sink, like an L-shaped area, and there was this tall, dark thing hiding there by it. I can see its face, hair, just one arm, and left leg and foot, but the other parts are not visible, as it seems to be hiding. Like when a kid is shy, but is still curious to see something. So it took me a few seconds before I was able to talk, because my mind cannot comprehend what I was seeing. My immediate question was, is there anyone at the sink? Which I know is quite odd and impossible, as I know that there are only three of us. My housemate, being a scaredy cat, suddenly stood up looking at me in disbelief, asking me to stop teasing her. But I told her, there is someone by the column, going to the sink looking at us. My sister then said, there are only three of us in the house right now, and it could be a burglar, as we are just on the second floor. But I told them, it is not possible, as the exit staircase is no longer there. I also told them that it is not a person, based from what I can see. They then asked me what I see, and I told them that aside from the white of the eyeballs, everything was just black. I told them it was as black as charcoal, and the hair is like that of an afro, and that it is almost as tall as the ceiling. It stayed there for a good 2 to 3 minutes, as if it was observing someone or something from the house. My guess is that it was looking at the TV, as it was the direction of its gaze. I think every hair on my body was standing up during this entire time, and then everything went back to normal as soon as it disappeared. The funny thing is, I think my sister and our housemate were even more afraid of the thing than I was, even though I was the only one that could see it. I didn't feel any scary aura coming from it. I guess my goosebumps were just due to the fact that I don't know what I was seeing, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. More than 10 years from that event, I still have no idea what that tall, dark thing was.